What's up, and welcome to my in-depth Tormented Demons guide. If you're just looking for information on how to do the fight and you want a quick guide, you can click the card at the top of the corner or the link in the description for my quick guide, which got uploaded at the same time as this video. But if you're looking for all the details and the ins and outs of Tormented Demons, you're in the right place. In this video, I'm going to go over everything you need to know about Tormented Demons. What they are, why you should kill them, the requirements to kill them, all of the fight mechanics you should be aware of, different gear setups that you can try, what your inventory should look like, how to get there, and then lastly, tips and tricks and things that can make your trips a little bit longer and a little bit more fun or chill or efficient depending on what you're looking to do. So let's get started. What are Tormented Demons? Tormented Demons are the large, fiery demons that you unlock after Wild Gothic sleeps, and you fight a couple of them at the end of the quest. Though these are much easier to kill with the huge stat boost from the Stone of Joss and your friends in the quest that can help you kill them. Similar to demonic gorillas, these monsters change overhead prayers based on what you hit them with, but they change attack styles at a set interval so you know more easily when to change your prayers. So why kill Tormented Demons? Well, the answer is simple. They're unique drops. The Tormented Synapse allows you to upgrade your Arclight to an Emberlight, which is best in slot at a lot of places in the game. You can make the Scorching bow, which is also best in slot in a few places, including the new method at Krilltsutsaroth or Zami, where you literally almost don't have to do anything. You wear a light bearer and you Scorching bow spec him and then you shoot him. It's really easy. The Purging staff is good, but it doesn't have that many uses in the game as of yet, but who knows, Yama might change that. The other unique drop is the Burning Claw, and two of these can make the Burning Claws, which is a much more affordable and easy to get option over the Dragon Claws, which are of course better in a lot of places, but the Burning Claws do outperform them in some places, specifically on monsters where you can set it to stab. The special attack from the Burning Claws is also very good, so those two drops are the main reason why you would want to come here. It also is good Slayer XP. You can get 1k XP per kill, which is pretty solid. So if you're an Iron Man, it's probably only worth killing these while you're on task, since they're not very fun to kill until you get a Synapse to make a Demon Bane weapon. If you're a main, you can buy a set of Burning Claws, you can buy a Synapse. So the main reason you might want to come here is for money.
Give me money, give me money, give me money, give me money, give me money.
Right now, Synapses are skyrocketing due to the upcoming release of Yama, and Jagex has heavily alluded to Demon Bane weapons being really good there. It's prime time to kill some Tormented Demons since the Synapse price has increased by a ton. Normally it sits around 40 to 50 mil, which is still really, really good, but it's skyrocketing at the moment, so definitely get in there, try to get yourself a drop and make some money. So what are the requirements to kill TDs? Well, to kill them, you'll need to have the Wild Gothic Sleeps quest done, which requires a few mid-60s skills, with the highest being 72 Thieving, and a laundry list of other quests to start. You can kill Tormented Demons with low 70s in your combat stats, but that's pretty discouraged since these things aren't very fun when you can't hit them. I would recommend starting them with at least 80 in the stats you're planning to use, but that's totally up to you. You will also need to take a Sapphire Lantern with you in your inventory if you don't have the Gothixian Temple Teleport scrolls yet. Mains can buy those scrolls on the GE. They are super worth the price, but Irons will have to get them by killing Tormented Demons first, but no worries, I will show you exactly how to get there later in the video. So let's talk about the fight itself. Tormented Demons are in a multi-combat zone, but are not aggressive. So you can choose to fight multiple at once, but there's really not a reason to do so unless you're going for the combat achievements. Tormented Demons will spawn with one overhead prayer. Around every 25% of its health bar, it will change its overhead prayer to the last style it was hit with. This is when you'll gear switch to your other style. The demons will start attacking you with one style. If you hit them and run away, you can easily determine if it's melee when they walk towards you. Otherwise, it's a 50-50 range or mage shot. If you see it lean back and shoot a fireball, this is the mage attack. If it looks like it's grabbing something and throwing it, this is the range attack. It will attack you with the same combat style for about 30 or so seconds. Then it will bind you in place and shoot a fireball at you that hits you and some area around you. You can click to walk out of it as soon as the fireball gets shot, and it does massive damage, so you definitely want to make sure you do that. At the same time, it also swaps its combat style, so Make sure to avoid the fireball and then change your prayer for whatever it's hitting you with. The last mechanic here is its fire shield. This is a mechanic you can use to deal heavy damage to the boss, or you can ignore it like I do if you want a more chill experience killing these, but I want to make sure to include it here. The fire shield around the demons reduces damage from a non-demon bane or abyssal weapon by 20%. However, it drops the shield after you first hit it and after each fireball attack. This allows you to bring a heavy, high-hitting weapon to do huge damage, such as a crush weapon like the Darok's Axe, or a ranged weapon like the Heavy Ballista, or even a normal crossbow. But whenever I do my normal trips here, I actually just ignore it and bring my normal switches for the entire trip, just because I kill these to kind of chill, and it's a lot easier to not pay as much attention doing that and just focus on switching my gear and switching my prayers. But if you care about efficiency and you want to do it 100%, go for it. Now let's talk about gear setups. You can use any of the 3 combat styles on Tormented Demons, but you need at least 2. It's recommended to use melee, and then the either be range or magic based on the gear you have available. For melee, you'll want to bring your Emberlight or your Arclight, and then your best melee gear. This is absolute best in slot for melee. But downgrades would go Bandos, Face Guard, and then Blood Moon gear or Fighter Torso if you have it. If you don't have at least the Arclight with Bandos, Blood Moon, or a Fighter Torso, you should probably shoot for getting something along those lines before you take on the TDs. If you're wanting more efficient kills and a little bit less of a chill experience, you can go the mage route and use Arceus spells for your second combat style. This does require using Mark of Darkness consistently to boost your damage, and using a staff that can auto-cast Demon Bane spells. This would be your best in slot setup for mage. But you can downgrade your weapon to the Kodai, Staff of the Dead, Blue Moon Spear, really anything that can auto-cast those Demon Bane spells. You can also downgrade from Ancestral to Virtus, Arams, or Blue Moon. If you want more chill kills that don't require consistently upkeeping a spell, range would be the way to go. For range, this would be your absolute best in slot, but you could easily downgrade to Elite Void and use a T-Bow or Blowpipe. You can use the Bofa, but only if you want to use Crystal Armor as well. Blowpipe is pretty early mid-game, and Elite Void is free to obtain, so I would go with that as a minimum, but you are welcome to use Bofa and Crystal if you'd like, and that's actually how I started killing the Tormented Demons as well. So now let's talk about your inventory. Other than your gear switches, you'll want to bring runes for Thralls and Book of the Dead, a Sapphire Lantern or 1 Guthixian Temple teleport, a teleport to your house to leave after the trip, a boosting potion for your combat stats and range or imbued heart if you're using mage, and a spec weapon, which could be Burning Claws, Dragon Claws, a Saradomin Godsword, or even just use your Emberlight. Optionally, if you choose to use the Fire Shield mechanic, you can bring a heavy-hitting crush weapon and a heavy-hitting ranged weapon for those hits as well. The rest should consist of a balance between food and prayer potions or restores. I would start with a higher amount of food while you get used to the fight, but you could also bring brews and restores for longer trips and more healing. You'll get a sense for how much food and prayer you should bring yourself as you get used to the fight and what you're comfortable with. So let's talk about how to get there. I'm going to assume by this point in your RuneScape journey, you know about Tears of Guthix and how to get there. You probably have a teleport directly to Tears of Guthix, either through a games necklace, your POH, or the minigame teleport. So we're going to start there. At Tears of Guthix, you'll see these light creatures flying around. If you scale up the wall so that you're a little bit closer to them, you can use your Sapphire Lantern on one to attract it to you. And from there, you can have it take you down into the chasm. From the chasm, you just follow the path straight and you'll get to the point where you see these ladders to go up to a skull. Right here is actually where the Guthixian Temple teleport will take you. Once you go up the ladders to the skull and go through, you are now at the Tormented Demons area. Just follow the path to the center room, and then you can either fight them here in the center, or you can go down the various paths until you find a room that is empty where you can start fighting them. Before we get into some live examples, I want to talk to you about a couple of tips that are going to help extend your trips and make things a little easier for you. If the Tormented Demon is ranging you or maging you before it binds you, make sure to step away from the demon, because that way you can easily tell what it's going to do next. If it was ranging you before the bind, if you step away and it doesn't walk towards you, pray mage. If it was maging you before the bind and you step away and it doesn't walk towards you, pray range. In either case, if it does walk towards you, this means it's going to melee, so just pray melee. If it was already meleeing you before the bind, then you have a 50-50 shot of it being range or mage. Another tip here is that if you use thralls and you're using, say, melee and range, summon the mage thrall. The main reason for this is because there's an off chance, a very small chance, that your thrall will actually be the last thing that hits the tormented demon when it goes over to the next overhead prayer. When this happens, say for example it's praying range and you're hitting it with melee, and melee is your strongest setup, then the thrall could actually make it pray mage, and then you can keep hitting it with melee for another cycle. That doesn't happen super often. You can plan around it a little more if you want to. I just let it happen when it does, but it is a pretty cool thing that you can use. Another thing to look out for is sometimes the tormented demons won't give you an actual drop. They will instead drop a smoldering gland, a smoldering pile of flesh, or a smoldering heart. These act as food, prayer, or a boost for you, which are really helpful as you're fighting them. So definitely make sure you're using those if you get those as a drop over your supplies, just to extend your trips a little bit longer. And that's about it for the guide. I'm going to go ahead and get into some live kill examples here so that you can see what the actual kill looks like. I'm going to try to talk through and call out as many of the things I mentioned here as I can. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you would like to see a guide for fighting multiple tormented demons at once for the combat achievements, also drop that down below. Hope you enjoy the live kills. To start, this one's praying mage, so I can use either of my combat styles. I'm going to go ahead and pot up and get started. So I'm going to start by praying melee. Quick note here, don't be like me. Make sure to set your weapons to crush or stab before you start the fight. They have really high slash defense, and that's why I'm not hitting very high here. So yeah, don't be me. Set your weapons to crush or stab. Thank you. I'll hit it and walk away, and it's not walking towards me, so I know it's either range or mage, and it's mage. So just praying mage, summoning a thrall, and whacking the monster. And at about 25% of its health bar, it will change to range, and that's when I'll change to range as well. There we go. Change to protect from melee, and now I am hitting it with range. And here in a minute, it will bind me, and you'll get to see what that attack looks like. It's about to change again. Okay, binds you, shoots a fireball, you move. And it's not walking towards me, so I know it's range. I was a little late there, but you get the point. Hit it a couple more times. I'll send a Burning Claw spec, and it changed. And now we're going back to range. And it's dead. We switch back into melee again, and we got rune arrows. Not fantastic, but hey, you know, we'll take them, I guess. Now, I usually just kill one and wait for it to respawn. Like I said, when I kill these, it's usually just, I do it just to chill. Usually when I don't have much else to do and I decide I want to send a trip, that's when I come here. So that is exactly what we're doing. So I'll go ahead and hit him again. He walked towards me, so I know that it's melee. So I can just leave pray melee on. And we're going to whack him. And I'll dump some specs here. And these are not set to stab. There we go, that should be a lot better. Combat style matters. There we go. Switching to range because he swapped to protect from melee, and he's already getting close to swapping back. There it is. And you don't have to use an offensive prayer. It's up to you if you want to do so. It's 50-50 which he's going to use, and he went to range. So because he was already meleeing me, it's just 50-50. And you can see here, my thrall actually changed his phase. So I can just stay meleeing him, which is good because my melee setup is my better setup. And that'll happen sometimes. You just get lucky and your thrall will cause him to transition. Magic shortbow you, and hey, you know, you don't come here for the normal loot, so all good. Walk towards me, so I know he's melee. Summon a thrall. Okay, it's gonna change soon. Probably one more hit. And we're ranging him. And it's just pretty simple. Once you get the hang of the fight, it's really easy. I honestly, in my bank tag tab, I still have way too much food whenever I was still learning the fight. Definitely don't need this much food once you get used to it. You can actually bring mostly potions, because the only time you should be getting hit, if you actually are paying attention, is when it's a 50-50 between if he ranges or mages. Otherwise, you can kind of completely avoid all damage. You can avoid the damage from the fireballs. You can avoid damage on the instances where it's not a 50-50, and you can tell if he's going to range and mage you. Cool. There's another kill. Smoldering Gland. That right there is prayer. All right, I'll do one more kill. And I'm going to try to call out when his shield goes down so you can see that. So, I hit him once. You'll notice his shield right here. I can hit him again before his shield goes up. So you can use your heavy attack there. And now he has the fire shield, so can't heavy attack here. And it does an animation like it's like fading away when it goes away. You should be able to see. Okay. And right here, no shield, so you can actually hit him with the heavy weapon again before it comes back up. And that's pretty much it. So it's really just make sure you're swapping your gear and paying attention to his health so you know when you need to swap to hit him. Make sure you are ready for when he binds you so you can step away and then change your prayer. And otherwise, it's pretty chill. Very chill content. If you don't know what you want to do for 30, 45 minutes, I mean, you can come send a trip. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Tormented Demons. And I hope you enjoyed the in-depth guide, and until the next one, later.